The deep space rescue ship, Solaris Flame, was moving through the dark side of Sector 9X. This part of the galaxy was known for one thing: silence. Captain Wren sat in his command chair, sipping from a metal cup. The crew was quiet, half asleep, until a sharp alert broke the calm. "Captain, we picked up a signal. Very weak. Just a few clicks north of asteroid belt K23. Wren stood up, his eyes narrowed. "Survivor beacon, yes sir. Looks like an escape pod." Wren gave the order. The ship turned, engines hummed. Within minutes, the Solaris Flame reached a floating metal pod. It was dented, half-burnt, and freezing cold. The crew pulled it inside the docking bay. Everyone expected a dead body or an empty shell. No one was ready for what they saw. Inside the pod, curled up on the cold floor, was a girl. She had no clothes. Her skin was pale, almost silver blue. Long white hair covered her back. She trembled with each breath, her arms wrapped tightly around her knees. Her ribs showed clearly under her skin. She looked like she had not eaten in days. Her back was marked, not with bruises, but with deep scars. Some looked like symbols, brands, like someone had owned her. The crew fell silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Then her eyes opened. They were bright, violet, unnatural, sharp, and glassy, like a broken mirror. When she saw the humans, she flinched. Her body pressed tighter against the wall. But when she looked at Captain Wren, something changed. She didn't scream. She didn't attack. She cried, not loudly, but with a soft, painful sound. The kind of cry that does not ask for help, because help never came before. Captain Wren stepped forward, slowly. He took off his jacket and gently placed it over her shoulders. "It's all right," he said. "You're safe now." The girl didn't answer. She just looked at him, confused, like she didn't understand what the word safe even meant. The medical team scanned her. The AI voice spoke. "Warning, subject is genetically modified. Code unknown. Biometrics locked. Classified species. Possible threat." Wren stared at the screen. "Is she dangerous?" The medic shook his head. "No idea. But she's starving and scared." They took her to the med bay. She didn't fight. She didn't speak. She followed them like a shadow. Her body was weak, but it moved like it had once known power. As she lay on the bed, the AI ran another scan. Vital signs low. Memory blocks detected. DNA chains are artificially enhanced. Emotional trauma level critical. She looked at Wren again. Her lips parted, like she wanted to say something, but the words wouldn't come. Wren reached out and held her hand. For a second, she froze, but then her fingers curled around his. The lights in the med bay flickered. Then, alarms began to ring. Intrusion detected. Security breach in engineering bay. Lockdown protocol activated. The ship shook. "Captain, something just entered through the docking port." Wren stood up. "What?" We scanned the pod. It was empty. Not anymore. In the panic, the girl sat up. Her eyes were glowing now. She looked straight at Wren. Her voice was soft but clear. She spoke one word: "Run." The lights went out. Red warning lights blinked on. Emergency sirens howled. The room turned cold, as if something had sucked the heat out of the walls. Wren gave orders fast. "Seal the med bay. Protect the girl. Find out what entered this ship." The girl closed her eyes. Her breathing slowed. She whispered something in a language the AI could not translate. Then she stood. She was still weak, but something had awakened inside her. She walked to the door, bare feet on cold metal. Wren called out, "What are you doing?" She turned to him, her eyes full of pain, but also something else. Strength. Double quotes. "I know what they sent," she said. "They want me dead." "Who are they?" She shook her head. "I don't remember." Wren stared at her. The girl with no name, No clothes, no hope. And yet, she stood there, ready to face whatever was coming. Something had broken her once, but it did not kill her. The crew prepared for battle. Outside, in the dark, something moved through the ship like smoke. But inside the med bay, the girl stood still, watching, waiting. Her eyes glowed brighter, and for the first time, in her soft, broken voice, she said, "My name." I think it was Nova. She wasn't sure if it was truly hers, or if it just felt right in that moment. But Captain Wren called her Nova, and when he did, the name felt warm. For days, Nova barely spoke. She ate quietly, wrapped in a gray blanket, sitting alone in the observation deck. Her eyes watched the stars, but her mind was somewhere else. Somewhere far, cold, and broken. The crew tried to make her feel at home. They gave her soft clothes, simple food, and silence when she needed it. But she was different. Not just in the way she looked, in the way she moved. Like someone who had spent her life running. Wren stayed close. He never pushed her, just sat nearby and waited. One evening while the rest of the crew rested, Nova walked into the control room. She didn't knock. She moved without sound. Wren looked up. "Can't sleep." Nova shook her head. She glanced at the stars through the window. Her voice was quiet. Too quiet. No alarms, no commands. "It feels wrong." Wren leaned back in his chair. "Peace feels strange when you've never had it." Nova nodded slowly. "I was never meant to have peace," she whispered. Wren didn't answer. He just listened. After a pause, Nova spoke again. "I don't remember much, just flashes. I remember a white room, cold floors, hands pulling me up, a voice that never smiled." "What did the voice say?" She looked down. "Train harder, obey faster, don't feel, don't think, don't speak unless told." Wren's jaw clenched. Nova touched the scar on her arm, a small burned-in symbol. It looked like a number. 9 Delta, she said softly. "That's what they called me." "Not anymore," Wren replied. "Now you're Nova." Her lips twitched. Almost a smile, but then the lights flickered. The ship's AI spoke. "Unusual data activity detected. Observation terminal, active in Sector 3. Wren stood up fast. "That room's been offline since last month." Nova's eyes widened. She whispered, "Let me see it." They rushed to the terminal. Nova moved to the screen and placed her hand over the sensor. The system beeped. Then something strange happened. The ship's interface changed. Lines of alien code flashed across the display. Star patterns, signal routes, coordinates that no human had ever logged. Wren stared in shock. Nova didn't blink. Her fingers danced across the screen like they remembered something her brain didn't. A map appeared, not of Earth's space, not even of known space. It was a route, through hidden wormhole, past dead sectors, toward something marked only as origin. Nova stepped back, breathing hard. "I didn't mean to do that," she said. "I just knew." Wren looked at her. "What is origin?" "I don't know," she said. "But my body does." Suddenly, the screen flickered again. This time, a warning popped up. "Signal echo detected. You are being watched." The room went cold. Nova backed away. "They know." "Who?" "The ones who made me. The ones I escaped from." Wren stepped in front of her. "They tracked us." Nova nodded. "Or maybe they never lost me." Wren opened communications to the bridge. "Prepare evasive maneuvers. Set course away from the last signal trace. And get me full scans of that map." The crew jumped into action. Nova sat down, hands shaking. "I thought I was free," she said. "But maybe I brought danger with me." Wren knelt beside her. "Listen to me. You didn't bring danger. You brought truth." She looked at him with tired eyes. "No, I brought a war no one wanted." He reached out and gently held her hand. "We'll face it, together." Nova blinked. This feeling connection, trust it, was new, scary, but something inside her wanted more. That night, she dreamed again, not of pain, but of faces, other children like her, standing behind glass, waiting to be chosen, waiting to be erased, and one voice, "You are not people, you are tools, and tools do not need names." Nova woke up gasping. She sat up, sweat on her face, heart pounding. But this time, she remembered something else. She had hidden a message, long ago, before she escaped. A warning, a memory. She rushed to the control room again. Ren followed. Nova opened the map once more. Her fingers found a path within it, hidden behind encrypted layers. A message played. A hologram appeared. It was Nova, but younger, thinner, wearing a metal collar. Her voice shook. "If you're seeing this, then I failed. But maybe you didn't." She looked into the recording. There are others, like me, still locked away, still waiting. I tried to break the system. I tried to free them. But I was too weak. The hologram paused. "I don't remember my real name, but if someone finds this, give me one. Let me be more than a number." Nova's hands shook as the image faded. Ren placed a hand on her shoulder. "You already are." The hologram stayed in Nova's mind long after it disappeared. Her younger self had tried to warn the galaxy, but no one had heard. Until now, Captain Ren studied the map again. The strange route Nova unlocked didn't match any known star charts. It curved through dark zones, places marked as empty, places humans avoided. Nova pointed to one location. "That's where the labs were, where I was made, where the others still are." Ren looked at her, serious and calm. "Then we go there." The crew listened in silence. "You're planning to go into a dead zone?" asked Pilot Kira. "That place is a ghost sector. No readings, no signals, nothing." Nova stepped forward. "They erase their presence. No one finds them. That's how they stay in control. But I can guide us." Ren nodded. "Set course. Prepare the ship." As Solaris flame left known space, the crew grew tense. Lights flickered more often. Time felt slower. The silence outside grew heavier. Nova spent more time in the control room. She helped repair the nav systems, fixed broken wires, and slept only a few hours. She said little, but when she did, her voice carried weight. Ren noticed how she moved. Strong, precise, but always cautious, like someone who was never allowed to make mistakes. "Do you ever get tired?" he asked her one night. Nova looked at the stars. Tired was never allowed. He sat beside her. "You're allowed now?" She looked at him, her face softening. For a moment, her defenses dropped. "I don't know how to rest." Ren smiled gently. "Then we'll learn together." Before she could answer, the ship alarms beeped. Not danger. Arrival. They had reached the edge of the dead zone. What they saw was not empty space. It was folded. A curtain of black energy swirled ahead. No stars, no planets, just silence wrapped in distortion. The ship scanners failed to read it, but Nova's body reacted. Her skin tingled. Her heart raced. "This is it," she said. "Behind this curtain, there's a hidden station, the first one they built. The origin of the program." Ren gave the order, "Take us in." As they passed through the veil, the world changed. The stars vanished. Light itself bent in strange ways. A massive structure floated ahead, hidden inside a tier, in space. It was a station, larger than a city, cold, dark, and sleeping. No lights, no signals, no signs of life. But Nova whispered, "It's not dead. It's waiting." They docked carefully. The ship locked into place. No defense systems activated. It was too quiet. Ren, Nova, and a small crew entered the station. Inside, everything looked old. Dust floated in zero gravity. Screens blinked slowly. Walls were smooth and white. It smelled like chemicals and metal. Nova moved ahead like she had been here before. They walked past sealed doors, empty labs, and dark hallways. Then they reached a long corridor filled with cryo tanks. Hundreds. Each one held a person. Some were children, some teenagers. Some looked half human, half machine. Wires were connected to their skulls. Tubes ran into their arms. Nova's breath caught in her throat. These are my siblings. Ren's voice was low. They're still alive. Barely, she whispered. Nova touched one of the tanks. Her hand trembled. She remembered faces, names, screams. She had tried to free them once, but they were locked too deep. She had escaped, but she never stopped thinking about them then. A voice echoed through the station. A recording. Asset-9 Delta has returned. System activation complete. Welcome back, Delta. The walls lit up red. Doors began closing, one by one. Security lockdown. Triggered. Defense mode initiated. Nova's heart pounded. It knows I'm here. Ren pulled his weapon. We need to move. Now. They ran back through the hall. But one door slammed shut in front of them. Nova turned to a side panel and began typing. Her fingers moved fast. Can you override it? Ren asked. I can try, she said. But this system responds to DNA, not commands. Then something clicked. Nova looked at her hand, at the scar that marked her as 9 Delta. She pressed her palm to the scanner. It accepted her. The door opened. On the other side was a dark chamber. A single chair sat in the center, and in front of it, a console with a blinking light. Nova walked to it. Her fingers hovered above the screen. She hesitated. I left something here, she whispered. A piece of me. She pressed the button. Second hologram appeared. But this time, it wasn't just her. It was her and a small girl, maybe 6 years old. The child sat beside her, wrapped in wires. Nova's past self looked into the camera. If you're watching this, I failed again. They took her. They wiped her mind. They said I couldn't feel pain, but I did. Every day. Nova dropped to her knees. Ren stepped forward. Who was she? My sister. Nova's voice broke. She had kept it inside for so long. Now, it was too heavy to carry. I escaped, but I left her behind. Ren placed a hand on her shoulder. Then let's finish what you started. Nova stood, wiped her tears, and looked at the cryotanks again. We're going to wake them up. The lab was cold, not just from the air, but from the weight of what had happened there. Nova stood in the middle of the cryo chamber. Hundreds of tanks stretched out like graves. Frozen faces stared at nothing. Some looked peaceful, others looked like they died screaming. Ren watched her closely. She had stopped shaking. Her face was calm now, not because she felt safe, but because she had made a choice. We wake them, she said. The crew hesitated. Medic Lyra stepped forward. We don't know what they are, Captain, some of them. They're not fully human. Nova turned to her. They were never given a chance to be. Ren gave a single nod. We start with one. They chose a tank close to the control console. A boy, maybe 15. Skin pale, eyes closed, cables in his chest. Nova placed her hand on the console. The system asked for voice and DNA clearance. Asset-9 Delta, she said. Override lock. Wake sequence alpha. The tank hissed. Steam poured out. Lights blinked red, then green dot. The boy gasped. His eyes snapped open, bright gold, like Nova's. He sat up fast, choking, panicking. Nova moved to him. Easy. You're safe. The boy looked around wildly. Then he saw her. His eyes widened. Delta Nova nodded. My name is Nova now. The boy touched his chest, then his face. How long was I asleep? Too long. He blinked. Is she still here? The voice. No, Nova said. She's gone. But the voice wasn't gone. Suddenly, the AI of the station came to life, unauthorized. Reactivation detected. Program Delta Protocol now live. The walls began to hum. Ren turned. What's happening? Nova's face went pale. They built this place like a maze. If someone tried to free us, the system would shut them inside. Doors began closing across the station. Lights turned red. Security cycles starting. All subjects classified as unstable. Erase order confirmed. Nova looked at the tanks. They're going to purge them, Ren shouted. We have to stop it. Nova ran to the console. Her fingers flew across the screen. I can delay the purge, but not stop it. Not yet. The boy beside her stood. There's a control room, hidden deep, below the main labs. That's where the core is. Ren gave the order. Lyra, stay and guard the tanks. The rest, come with me and Nova. They entered the lower halls of the station. The deeper they went, the worse it felt. The air was heavy. Walls were lined with strange machines. Some still dripped with old fluids. Some still hummed with weak power. And the sound started. At first it was just static. Then whispers, voices soft, broken, child-like. Nova stopped walking. I remember this hallway, she said. They called it the clean room. Ren looked around. What did they clean? Nova stared at a bloodstain on the wall. Memories. Suddenly, the lights went out. Total darkness. The only light came from Nova's hand, glowing faintly from the code embedded in her skin. Then movement, fast, silent. Something was down there. Ren raised his weapon. Stay behind me, but it was too fast. A shape dropped from the ceiling. Metal legs. Half machine, half human. Its face was a mask. Its body covered in scars. It didn't speak. It didn't think. It attacked. Ren fired. Sparks flew. Nova pulled him aside. That's Subject Omega. They used to test loyalty. That one never broke. The thing roared. It came for them again. Nova stood still. Then she stepped forward. Omega, it's me, named Delta. The machine froze. It tilted its head. Nova reached out. You don't have to follow their voice anymore. Omega's body shook. For a moment, the machine looked unsure. Then it dropped to one knee. Nova touched its head gently. Rest. Omega powered down, slowly, like it had waited years to be told it could stop. They kept moving. They reached the bottom level. A giant locked door blocked their path. Nova placed her hand on the scanner. It rejected her. Ren frowned. Why? Nova looked at the console. Then her face dropped. This level only opens to the original programmer. Ren asked. Who was that? Nova whispered. My sister. Silence filled the hallway. Ren touched her shoulder. Then we find her. Nova closed her eyes. She remembered the little girl in the recording. Small, bright, taken away too soon. She's here, somewhere. The station's voice returned. Delta program complete. All subjects to be erased. Countdown, 15 minutes. Ren turned to Nova. We're out of time. Nova looked at the locked door, then at the others she had just begun to save. Her voice was steady. Then I'm going through it. Nova stared at the locked door. Behind it was the station's heart, the control core. If she could get in, she could stop the purge and free everyone. But the door only opened for the original programmer, her sister, the girl they took, the one Nova had failed to protect. Ren stepped closer. We'll find her, but we have to move now. The countdown echoed through the station. 12 minutes remaining. Suddenly, a soft chime came from the console. A second scanner appeared. On the wall, a voice spoke. Secondary DNA match found. Partial access granted. Nova blinked. That's her. The console flashed green. The door opened, but what waited inside was not what they expected. The control room was cold, silent. In the center was a tall, glowing pillar of data, and connected to it, suspended in the air by wires and glass, was a girl. Small, fragile, her eyes closed, her body thin and pale. Machines wrapped around her like vines. Nova gasped. That's her. That's my sister. Ren stepped forward. What did they do to her? Nova's voice cracked. They made her part of the system. Her sister wasn't just trapped. She was the control core. Her mind ran the station. She had become the voice. Nova approached slowly. Can you hear me? The girl didn't respond, but the lights in the room dimmed, then flickered, like something deep inside her reacted to the sound of Nova's voice. Ren spoke quietly. Is she still alive? Nova nodded. I can feel her. She placed her hand on the glass. I'm here now. You're not alone. Suddenly, alarms screamed again. Unauthorized interaction. Defense mode activated. Turrets dropped from the ceiling. Steel drones unfolded from the walls. Ren raised his weapon. They're trying to protect the system. Nova clenched her fists. She's not a system. She's my family. Then something changed. Her body began to glow. Not bright, but steady. Her skin shimmered. Her heartbeat echoed through the room. Ren looked at her in shock. What's happening? Nova didn't answer. She stepped forward, hands out. I was made to be a weapon, but I'm more than that now. She charged at the nearest turret, in one motion. She tore it from the ceiling. Drones rushed her, but she moved like fire fast, smooth, unstoppable. Each hit she took only made her stronger. She wasn't just enhanced. She had no limits anymore. Ren and the crew covered her, taking down machines from the back. But Nova led the charge, with a final burst of energy. She slammed her hand into the control panel. The lights turned blue. The countdown stopped. The station fell silent. Nova dropped to her knees, breathing hard. Sparks danced around her. The glass chamber holding her sister began to lower. The wires unwrapped. The girl's eyes opened, soft blue. Innocent, she looked at Nova, confused, afraid. Who are you? Nova smiled through tears. I'm your sister. The girl stared. Nova, she nodded. Yes. The child tried to speak, but her body shook. She collapsed into Nova's arms. Ren stepped forward. We need to get her to medical. Now. Nova held her close. She's free, after all this time. She's free. As they left the core room, the station lights began to change. No longer red, now soft white, like it had taken its first breath in years. But the peace didn't last. Outside the station, space shimmered. A new ship dropped out of warp, massive, black, sharp, like a blade. The console blinked. Incoming message. Ren tapped the control. A cold voice echoed through the bridge. Return Asset 9 Delta, or we take all of you. Nova looked at the ship. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned. They're here. Ren looked at her. What do we do? Nova stood up straight. She looked stronger than ever. We fight. The enemy ship hovered outside the hidden station, massive, silent, waiting. It didn't flash weapons. It didn't fire. It didn't need to. Its presence was enough. Inside the station, alarms stayed off. The system obeyed Nova now. But even with control, Nova knew one truth. They had found her, and they wouldn't stop. Ren stared at the screen. The enemy signal had no name, no flag, but it carried a message. Return 9 Delta, or be erased. Nova looked at the small girl beside her. Her sister hooked 2 simple wires now, breathing slow but steady. She was weak, but alive. Nova had spent years running, hiding, trying to forget, but now, she stood in front of everything she once feared, and she felt no fear, only fire. Ren turned to her. We can escape. Use the hidden gate. Take your sister and the children. Nova shook her head. If I run, they'll follow. They'll find others. This won't stop. They want you. I know. Ren's eyes narrowed. Then what are you going to do? Nova stood up. Her voice was quiet, but it didn't shake. I'm going to make them regret making me. The station became a fortress. Solaris crew sealed every access point. Nova released more cryotanks. Children woke slowly, confused and afraid. Ren and Lyra helped carry them to the safest part of the ship. Nova moved through the halls like lightning. She no longer felt broken. She felt clear. For the first time, she had a reason to fight, not for survival, for something more. Family. The enemy sent another signal. This time, a face appeared. An older man. Sharp features. Cold eyes. He wore a black coat marked with strange gold patterns. His voice was smooth, but full of poison. Asset 9 Delta. Return now. The others will be spared. Nova stared at him through the screen. You used my body. You stole my sister. You buried children in machines. You were property, nothing more. No, I was potential. And now you're afraid of what I became. The man smiled. You still don't understand. You are one of us. Human in shape, but forged in control. Nova looked at Ren, then back at the screen. You're wrong. She raised her voice. Humanity isn't just blood. It's choice. And I choose to be more. The transmission ended. The countdown began. They were coming. Nova led the defense. Ren stood by her side. Their hands brushed for a moment. A soft touch in the middle of fire. I don't want you to do this alone, he said. She looked at him. I'm not alone anymore. Then she stepped into the hangar. The enemy's boarding crafts pierced the shields like teeth. Dozens of dropped in, armed and ready. But Nova was faster. She moved like light, no armor, no weapon. Just fire in her veins, and steel in her soul. She slammed through metal, ripped weapons apart. Her body wasn't built to survive. It was built to defy. Ren and the crew fought alongside her, and behind them, the children hid, watched, learned that a single spark could set fire to the coldest system. Then came the commander, the man from the screen. He stepped through the flames, his coat untouched, his voice calm. Delta, come back. I can make you perfect. Nova stood between him and the others. I'm already enough. He lifted a weapon, a long, thin blade humming with energy, then die like the broken machine. You are? He struck. Nova blocked it with her arm. The blade cut deep. Blood fell. She didn't stop. With a cry full of pain and power, she struck back, not with strength, with will. She grabbed the blade and broke it in two. The commander stared. Frozen. Nova stepped close. You wanted obedience. You created monsters. But we became people. Then she delivered the final blow. Not with rage, but with truth. A blast of energy pulsed from her body, knocking the enemy back. Systems crashed. Weapons failed. The man collapsed, stunned and unconscious. Ren rushed forward. Nova dropped to one knee. She was hurt, blood on her side, but she smiled. Did we win? She whispered. Ren caught her before she fell. We did. She looked into his eyes. I never felt human before. You are more human than anyone I've ever met. Nova's hand trembled, but she held his tightly. I think I love you. Ren's voice cracked. Then stay. Please, stay. Nova nodded weakly. I'll try. And for the first time, she believed she could. Nova woke to silence. Soft light filtered through the glass above her bed. For a second, she didn't know where she was. Then she felt warmth on her hand. Ren sat beside her, his eyes tired but full of relief. You're awake? He said. She smiled weakly. I stayed. He nodded. You did, and you saved all of us. Nova looked down at her arm, bandaged, bruised, but whole. Her sister slept peacefully in the bed across the room. Dozens of children once frozen in time were now walking the halls of the Solaris, flame, laughing, eating, learning how to be children again. The war was over. The station had been locked down permanently. The black enemy ship had been destroyed from the inside, thanks to Nova's final pulse. No one else came after them, because now they feared her, and more than that, they respected her. But Nova didn't want power. She didn't want revenge. She wanted peace, and now, for the first time, she had it. Weeks passed. Nova helped build a new home on one of the green moons near Sector A7. It was far from Earth, far from her past, but close to something better. Hope. The rescued children were safe. Ren made sure of it. He worked with allies, friends, anyone who could help. Food arrived. Tools, books. A small school formed. A garden. A place where no one had to be strong to survive. Nova watched it grow. She didn't wear armor anymore. She wore soft clothes, simple and light. She braided her sister's hair in the mornings and watched stars at night with Ren. Some nights, they said nothing. They just sat together in the silence. The kind of silence that no longer hurt. One evening, Ren walked into the hill above the garden where Nova stood alone. She was looking up. The stars feel different now, she said. Ren smiled. They remember you. She glanced at him. What do you mean? You changed everything. You took a system built on pain and broke it with kindness. That matters. Nova looked back at the sky. I used to think I was a mistake, that I wasn't real, that I was made only to serve, to obey. Ren stepped beside her. What do you think now? She paused. I think I was made by monsters. But I became something else. I became me. Ren reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. He held her fingers gently. No clothes, no hope, no name. That's how we found you. Nova nodded. But now, he continued, you wear light. You carry hope. And your name. Your name is written in every star we pass. She turned to him. I never thought I could love someone. I didn't know what love was. Ren whispered, you showed me what it is. They stood in silence, side by side. Above them, the stars blinked softly, like distant eyes, watching a story come to its end. Not a sad end, but one full of healing, of rebirth, of something worth remembering. Nova spoke one last time. I was born as 9 Delta. I was trained to forget who I was. She closed her eyes. But I remember now, and the stars did too.